There are very few roller coasters out there that combine many different experiences into one ride. You know, you have some that focus purely on flow to airtime like B&M Hypers, you have rides like the Smiler, which does its literal best to kill you, and then you have Icon. Icon is my favourite roller coaster here in the UK, so I'm very, very excited to share my review. As per always, I hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, this is my review of Icon. So yes, Icon, a Mack multi-launch roller coaster that was built in 2018, and you know, this ride is nothing short of amazing, at least in my opinion. Icon can be found at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, in its own kind of area of the park. It's actually incredible how they managed to squeeze such a long ride into a park of this size. Whilst Icon isn't themed like rides at Fort Park or Alton Towers, it is stylised, with the cool train design, the epic entrance sign, and small features along the ride course. One aspect of this attraction that really surprised me was the queue. It's so incredibly small, and what I like about it in particular is that you get a great view of the launches and the second half of the ride. What I'm not impressed with though is the station. The inside's cool, but it's literally a box. Still, could be worse. Could be Rita's station, which doesn't even have a roof. Once you enter the station, you scan your wristband and board the train. If you have any loose articles, you can place them in the bays, which are to the other side of the ride vehicles. You have to walk across the train to get to them. When I ride Icon, I like to ride in the front, and there is a dedicated front row queue for all that are interested. But I will discuss later on in the review why I prefer the front, but I'm getting too far ahead of myself. Also, I think this is a good time to mention that as of 2020, Icon has spinning seats on the back row on one of the trains. The experience is called Enzo, and when I get to experience it, I'll make a separate review because it'll be a completely different ride. As the train dispatches from the station, you pull up to the first launch. There's a cool build-up of music before the train starts moving. If you've ridden other Mack coasters, you'll be aware of this, but if you haven't, Mack multi-launch coasters aren't really known for their launches. And Icon is no different. Honestly, the launch is nothing special. It's nowhere near as good as the likes of Rita's or Stealth's, or even Bluefire, you know, in Germany, which is the prototype. After you launch and you get up to speed, you enter this tunnel, mist in your face, and you're hit with positive G-forces. It's not very prolonged, but it definitely catches me off guard. Now, this is where the lap bar situation can get bad. Icon has these over-the-shoulder lap bars, which you know are really comfortable in the station, but in certain sections of the ride, you can feel it coming down on your thighs, and this is definitely one of those moments. Honestly, it can tighten quite a lot here. Sometimes harder more than others, and yeah, sometimes it's just luck of the draw, but yeah, just bear that in mind. After the tunnel, you suddenly pop up into this top hat element, or whatever people are calling it. Here is where you'll get some really good airtime. It's not the best moment of airtime on the ride, but it is sustained. If you're riding Icon earlier on in the morning, naturally the roller coaster won't be as warmed up as it will be in the afternoon, and you may not have that good of a ride experience. On my first ride a while back, I came off it and went, that's it? That's really it? I wouldn't have even put that coaster in my top 5 from that one ride. After my disappointing go on Icon, I went on the big one, knocked off most of the woodies off my list, and then came back to it, and wow. That second ride was so much better than my first. So if your first ride on Icon isn't quite what you imagined, literally just give it about 2-3 hours, and then you'll have a much better ride experience. But anyway, I'm really getting sidetracked. Down from that top hat, you then go into an inclined loop. I personally think there's not much to this element. It's a little bit pointless in my opinion, but I'd rather have it than not. Following on from the quote-unquote loop, you then go into multiple twists and turns. You're thrown from side to side, very reminiscent of Cheetah Hunt at Busch Gardens Tampa. In the back row, I found this section to be a little bit more forceful than the front, and you get really close to some of the other attractions in this area. Once the twisty section is over, you glide into this beautiful zero-G roll, the only inversion on the ride. For me, this inversion is taken at the perfect speed for hang time. This is definitely one of my favourite inversions I've ever experienced. Coming out of that inversion, you then go into 2 small but sharp pops of airtime, before you then dive down into the same tunnel at the beginning of the ride. Here is where you go through your second launch. Definitely the more powerful of the 2 on this ride. This Junior Immelman follows. It gives some decent hang time going up, and you get some nice airtime coming out of it, especially in the back row. Overall, a solid element of the ride, but definitely not the highlight. Now from here on out, Icon focuses mainly on more of those twists and turns, with a moment of really good airtime thrown in there. This one hill is my personal favourite on the ride, and the entire train gets some great airtime here. In my opinion, the second half is better than the first half with Icon, and that's really because I find it more intense as a whole. However, I will mention that towards the end of the second half, you can feel the train start to slow down a bit. It takes this one off-axis airtime hill really slowly so you don't get any airtime, and it really feels like the train is just meandering towards the brake run at this point. I mentioned at the beginning of the review that I prefer the front row, and this is because the views are better and the back has got this really distracting rattle. Overall, Icon is a long ride that combines a whole host of different rollercoaster experiences. You have hang time, airtime, positive G-forces, and whippy transitions. Is Icon the most intense rollercoaster out there? No. And it's weird because other rides in my top 10 are pretty dang intense, like Untamed, Nemesis, Stealth, etc. But for me, Icon captures all my favourite attributes about rollercoasters and squishes them all into one ride. Ultimately, that's the reason why it's my favourite rollercoaster here in the UK. You've been watching Stubwood. Many thanks for making it all the way to the end of the video, and if you have time, please consider subscribing and supporting the channel. As always, have a great day and I'll see you in the next video.